So, Dad, I've got a couple more of the major inventions or innovations during the 20th century that I'd like your take on. Okay? You lived through the Depression, and a great board game came out in the Depression called Monopoly. And you remember something else that was similar to Monopoly that you guys played a lot. Is that right?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Easy money.
Was it about the same concept or a little bit different?
Quite a bit. It's played on the same board and it's real estate and stuff like that.
Okay. Is that game...
The thing was, you'd bid on properties. Everybody could bid on property instead of buying it when you land on it.
Right.
Well, you could bid, but somebody could outbid you if they wanted to. So
Okay.
you had to use your money wisely on it. And when you owned the property, you could collect rent on it.
Okay.
They were quite similar games, except the one was bid on, the other was automatic. You just buy the property.
Did you guys play that quite a bit?
Oh yeah, for a long time there. We played it every Sunday. A lot of our friends would come to the house there. I think Mother got tired of having the living room full of boys.
Playing easy money, huh?
Every Sunday afternoon.
And then about the 40s, you just finished high school and you were starting college, but tell us about your writing instruments that you used most of your youth, and then what happened then?
Like a ballpoint pen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that came out just the same time as the war broke out, a little before. But they were, instead of having fountain pens that leaked in your pocket and stuff like that, the ballpoint was a revolutionary thing. The advertising, you could write underwater with it. But it just replaced what they called a fountain pen in a hurry. It was called the Reynolds pen for years and years, and now it's Bic and other names.
And a few others. But that was a big deal, huh? That ballpoint pen was...
Deal, you bet. That was a good to mankind.
Wow. Another good to mankind one that happened about the same time was penicillin. What do you remember about penicillin?
It was around that time, before the war, about in early stages. It was a phenomenal increase in fighting infections, and it just took over the infection. What's the word I'm trying to think of?
Treatment, huh? It was just
treatment for infection. Venereal diseases, it was supposed to help cure them easily. That didn't help the country's morale or morality.
But it was you remember that being quite the windfall of an invention, huh?
You bet. That was one of the greatest windfalls.
Well, and then other things that we really take for granted. I mean, we're just used to TV being everywhere. But you grew up in a world without TV, didn't you?
Oh yes, we'd heard about it, but we didn't know anything about it until, well, after the war, before we really got anywhere at all. So
you mentioned that your first real exposure to TV was when you were at the U. You were a grad student, right?
Yeah. And I'd get bored on Saturday night or something. I'd go downtown and to one of the bars and watch wrestling on TV. That's the first I remember watching it.
Do you think it was authentic wrestling, or do you think the matches were staged?
It was staged.
Some things stay the same, don't they?
I'd go down there and nurse one Coke for 2 hours watching wrestling. Until they kicked me out.
Until they booted you out. Well. And then something else that came in the 50s was rockets. Do you remember when Sputnik launched?
I can remember, but I have no idea what era it was in. Like, it has to be before the moonshot, but it was the first breakthrough.
Yeah. So you remember being a very big deal then, huh?
Oh yes.
Okay. And then the moonshot was really quite a bit later. But tell us what you remember about those days during the development of the moon program and the moon landing.
Yeah. We're going to, and President Nixon challenged Congress to get man on the moon. And it was a big challenge trying to beat the Russians.
Was it Kennedy?
Yeah, it was Kennedy that asked for it, told him to get it going.
Okay. Well, and those were broadcast on TV. You had us watching with you. I remember that, but I was small at the time, so.
Yeah, we could. It was on TV. But I think they recorded and then released it. But I remember watching social publicly watching the action
Uh-huh.
of the moon landing. It's a miracle.
Yeah, that really would be, wouldn't it? That would be something to see. So, but that's a whole lot of stuff to live through. You think that you've seen a lot change in 92 years, haven't you?
Yeah, I'll say everybody has. You take the electric light and steamboats, or steam engines, and telephone, of course. You got amazing developments.
Yep. It comes at you pretty fast, doesn't it?
Somebody years ago said, I think everything's being invented that can be invented. Some wise guy. He was way off.
He was way off, wasn't he? They just seem to invent faster now than ever, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, all right.